Hello everyone. It's very, very good to see you after this longer pause of mine. I'm still hanging a little bit in this apartment situation. I hope it's better now. And I'm so happy to see you again. So unless I don't receive themes from you to create videos, I had very strongly the feeling that I should do a video about something very intimate and a topic that I am going to expose myself, and it's very vulnerable. And I do that because I know that, and I'm hopeful that something may help you, if it's a word, a sentence just, or the entire story. I'm a little nervous about it, and if you want to skip right to the part where Jesus saved me out of this thing, then you can do that. I put this timestamps below, but I want to start a little bit how my journey started, how I realized everything, and how this all came to an end. So when this all started so consciously that I'm always really aware of, I was 14, I think 14, 15, and I remember that in my family we had a lot of issues in general, and I had 3 addictions in general, and the eating disorder started when I got 14 or 15, around that. The others were before. I will just mention them later on a little bit, but because of those family issues, I remember that it was not so much, it was also unconscious, everything, the whole structure in the family, the patterns, everything. And I just remember that my granny always baked a lot, and she baked apple cake. It's the more not sweet form in German, it's Apfeldatschi. And she always baked a lot, and I always ate a lot. But that it became like a tax, or like I couldn't stop eating. That was when I said that I was in my youth age. So she baked a lot of that apple cake in the fridge, and she put them in the fridge, and I started to eat a lot, like I always do, like I always did. But that evening, I remember it was the end of summer, and I remember that I ate and I ate more, and it was not so much the eating though, it was more, I realized it was like a force that was like drawing me to the fridge, like it wanted me at the fridge and eat something. And I recognized that, and I thought that's a little crazy because I'm already full, I can't eat something. But though I went to the fridge again and again, and I was a little bit concerned, but it was still okay, I would guess. And at the same time I realized that I needed like my mom, and I needed help, and I needed a warm place where I can be soothed, where I can be calm, where everything is love and a peaceful place. And that was not possible at that time because so many things were up. And then this went on. I realized that I was very much drawn to sweet things like the Kinder chocolate, creamy things like cream and cake, and yeah, it was much the cake and the creams. And I couldn't stop. It was, at times, it was like I was so full that I thought I burst. And I didn't vomit. I didn't take my finger in my mouth. So I just sometimes was sitting on toilet and I got stomach ache. But yeah, I didn't actively do something to get rid of the food again. So yeah, and at times I was so full and I couldn't anymore, but I was like, in something inside of me was screaming like hell, I can't, and don't do this, don't eat anymore. But it was like I can't. The other voice or that force, like I said, was like grabbing me by the neck and just did it. It was like I was a slave of something. And I analyzed a lot why I was eating that food, because I could be like, yeah, I could take responsibility for myself, or I could decide a lot which things I want to eat, which not. And it was a distraction of mind also, because the mind was all about the food. What will you eat tomorrow? What will you eat today? What could you do for eating, for food? And it was a vicious cycle. And also, yeah, it was of course that creamy side that I didn't have in my life. And so this went on, and it got so worse that it was not the main part of it, but then I had also a skin rash, very bad, and many other things, yeah, which were quite hard for me. But yeah, somehow the food helped me to have all the pieces together. Somehow it was self-medication. If I would stop eating or trying not to eat that much, I would have pain that it was like a mental pain, a psychic pain that was immediately in the body, in everywhere, in the auric field. That was such a pain and such a heaviness that I could have screamed for hours. And I simply couldn't. The pain was so much that I needed like this food medication. Also, it was also medication. It was so many things. And it was also that with all the food, I handcuffed myself to this house, to my parents, because I felt I am responsible and I have to take care, because my brother, he left the house a lot, which I did before, and he was at home, and now it's the same again. He is more with my parents and I am not there. But that time I thought, okay, everything is falling apart, I have to be there. And I was forcing myself to be there as a watcher, to watch the whole situation, not to to fall into darkness too much, or I don't know. And everyone who knows when I'm talking about addiction, that it's really hell. That's the first thing you think about in the morning and the last thing in the evening. And you can't get rid of it, especially not when you're in a situation that you can't change yet. So I was in therapy. I was in a clinic for almost 1 year. I was it got better. I really have to say, it was not that bad anymore. For a long time, but it was still there. Not in a real attack again, but it was still there. So like, yeah, sometimes it was like I eat consciously and I eat, but I couldn't find an end, but not as an attack anymore, something like that. And I remember that one day when it happened with Jesus, because I work with Jesus for a longer time, but there were many things to clean and clear and to work with. So at that time we came to or at least in Jesus' eyes, I was ready to receive him in that situation. So I realized that summer I got a lot of father feelings and father issues came on the surface, that it could have been so much more than he showed. They showed me from beyond that he actually was there also to like positively push me in the right direction, especially when it came to sports or to other things. Yeah, he was like like a manager in the background. And somehow I got sad that summer. I think it was 2016-17. And it was a lot of swimming out at the lake and all this download from beyond. And I remember that that time I baked I started out with being a fruitarian. And that was a cool experience, because that was something I was seeking since my childhood. Because when I was a child, I said to my mom, I wished I was cut from the belly and I could eat as much sweets as I wanted, and I wouldn't get sick. And that was a funny idea, and it really existed because I started to eat a lot of fruits. And when you eat fruits without taking fat, or oil or anything that contains fat, so that then the sugar level, the sugar level doesn't rise, because there is not the fat who makes it into an amount that your body can't take anymore, or starts with some other products in your body that you can't absorb it. So it was so cool, and I ate just fruits, and there were also cakes in that fruitarian recipes which I made, which were fat-free. Of course I ate fat again too, but when you do that, then the next meal, for example, is more potatoes, or so that your body doesn't have this high sugar level, but you can eat everything. Then they even cure the sugar disease with just sugar, fruit sugar, from bananas, from melons, from mostly and that was a cool experience, really. And I was really glowing, the skin was glowing and everything. Then I just realized that my skin got very, very fatty somehow, and very it was good in shape, but somehow I felt it was a little bit too much slowly, and I then I was craving it. Sometimes I ate pretzels, or but like I said, sweet potato, normal potato, with stuff like that. But then I was craving bread and things again, and I just came to, after 1 year, I was 1 year fruitarian. So, and I tried the light nutrition also. You can have that spiritually, that you are taking in a lot of light, which works also very well. And you don't eat, or almost don't eat, and you drink a lot. That was a very cool experience also. So I just tried a few things just to feel how it feels. But this light thing was cool, but I realized that your body shows you very much where your blockades are, and your dark spots, and it causes that pain again. Like I said, you feel like the first days I was so high, like I was on drugs, and I was skating and everything. It was summer, I did a lot of things, didn't feel tired at all. But then slowly I was laying around very much. I still went to work, but then I realized it's showing you too much at once, and I stopped that also. Yeah, like I said, I was at the fruitarian phase in my life, and I baked that. One morning I was hungry, and I felt that craving again, that more craving than just for food. It was like that, not as an attack, but much somehow. And that helped me, by the way, the fruitarian, because you could eat really many things without having a guilty conscience. Yeah, it was just cool. So, and because I knew that from what I eat, it even helps my body and is not destroying my body. So that you know how I mean it. I no longer wanted to hurt myself with this new information. So I had this craving, and I had the vision of this cake, a lot of cake. And I baked this cake so very quickly, and I was like, I couldn't wait for this cake to be ready. But I also, this was the cool part, I was craving also for a tea. And I was craving for fruit. I think it was peach or apple or something like that. And I had this fruit here, and I brought it to my desk, and I made the tea, and I brought it to the desk. But this dark side of me was always craving for the cake. And the cake took its time. And I just almost couldn't wait. And then I got it out of the oven, and I took it to my desk also. And I was right before eating, and then Jesus appeared. And that never happened before, like conscious. Yeah, that he appeared so conscious that he wanted to tell me something in the situation, because he knew that before maybe I couldn't hear it because I was too vulnerable. And the first thing he said, it's always energy that's coming in. And that translates to knowing, hearing, smelling, etc. And the first thing he said was the most beautiful thing in all of this, because he said, you can keep your food, you can keep everything you want. Everything is for you. And that was a little bit strange to me. Because, either people want to take away things from you because they see that it's not healthy, or people just leave you alone completely because they don't want to have to do something with this, or because they're not interested or simply not there. But Jesus dared to interact with me. And that was so beautiful, because he was, and he wasn't interfering, he was more like just commenting the scene. That was so precious to me. That was all. It's all for you, Ailey. It's all for you. You can eat the cake, you can drink the tea, you can have the fruit, everything. Nobody's gonna take away something from you. And by simply just this, I tasted the cake, and it tasted so awful. And I just felt my true craving in the morning for this tea and for this fruit. And then I really drank the tea and ate the fruit consciously without seeing the cake anymore, because the cake was really there it was really symbolically there for my dark side. It was even a dark cake with a chocolate powder. And I didn't have the feeling again to put this all inside of me. And it was just that, Jesus just gave me the abundance in that moment to consciously consider the food. To not think, oh, I shouldn't eat this, but I will eat everything. Just to watch it, smell it, feel it more. And no one's gonna take away something from me. And he just gave me like the permission to do everything I really need to do. And obviously I didn't need it. I didn't need to eat this chocolate cake. So just be with it and sit with it in stillness and calm, and it's all for you, and you can decide if you want it or not. And it was also cool because in my past things went so quickly sometimes. I didn't have, and so many of you, maybe you also, you didn't have a chance to let a feeling sink in, or the situation even. It's like our feelings and everything are so violated sometimes. And this is what I do, by the way, with my clients here in light work. We go back into a dark or negative situation, if you want to call it like that. And all we do is just to put the scenes in slow motion so that we can see what did we feel, what did we think, or what we would think now, because we didn't have the chance or the time to do so. And then consciousness can rise. But in those moments, I remember I ate a lot, as I said, in childhood already, with a lot with cream or birthday or ha. And then my mom often said, don't eat too much of that cream or cake. And of course, like, parents are like that, but no one ever sat really conscious in front of their children, and really they're never looking them in the eyes and asking them, how does it taste? Do you want to have more, or do you like to eat something else? It's more something that happens unconscious, and our parents serve the kids something, and then they leave them with the food, and it's no real relation to ask and get back, to feel and have the compassion and get, so you give and receive. And this was missing. And my dad once wanted to, or he took everything away from me. He caught me in like an attack, and he saw that I was eating a chocolate cream, and he got so aggressive, and it stops now that you're eating all the sweets. And this was horrible, because I had so many bad feelings and so much pain, and then the only thing, or one of the things I could really, that helped me, was the food, for example, and then they took it away also. So what do we have then? And there was never a hug, never a conversation, never a help, anything. And those are really hard moments. And all the hard moments, you then start to clandestinely eat the food, and I ate food in the basement that no one saw it, or you start to figure out strategies like that you can eat, for example, a cake that you eat much more of it but no one realizes it. There are so many things you can cheat. But Jesus was just looking in my eyes, and he connected with me, and he wanted to know, and by saying you can have everything. And it was not only with food only, it was with many other things also, which I come to in a second. And then he asked me questions about why I choose this food, for example, the creamy chocolate. And I said, of course, because I am so much craving for the soft side of life, or the sweet side of life, or just feel heaven on earth. And then I had the intuition to buy lots of tea, because we have a tea store here in Augsburg, and they have a lot of tea mixtures, like popcorn tea or a spring tea with many fruits and herbal things. And it was cool because I could have all that creamy, fruity, fun stuff, but with a tea. And again, it was something healthy. And I am still so happy that I know this with the fruitarian food, because it was an answer to a prayer that I once had as a child, or I wish that I had as a child. But it came to me so late, but better late than never, right? And so I worked myself out of it, because I started with the tea and the fruitarian, and then I drank a lot of tea and experienced a lot. And the tea is not all so sweet, it's also very warm and has a lot of nutrients in it, and is liquid and it's not solid. And it helped me very, very much. And I realized more with the tea was more that I could choose from so many teas, from such a variety of teas. And that was the thing. I wanted, like I said, I wanted to be self-responsible. I wanted to choose something. I wanted to see what fits me, what I like. I wanted to explore. And and of course, as it seems, I wanted to be seen by someone. And Jesus was the one who saw me. Yeah, that was the one addiction. And then it got calmer and calmer and calmer. And I can't remember that I had an attack since then. I even feel I know exactly when I'm full. But I can do that now, because I know that Jesus won't take something away from me. And I can do that because I provide myself with lovely things. I can say, okay, I buy a lot. For example, I always miss that my parents have a great cupboard with much sweets, like my neighbor had. I always wish that, with lots of popcorn and things. And sometimes that's a crazy thing about it. Sometimes I see that with myself when I have a lot at home. I'm not even craving it. Because I just know it's there. Sometimes you just need to be provided. And that's it. And I had also the vision, and we did that once, that we threw around the food and the sweets in my neighbor's house. He had so many sweets, and I just wanted to party with sweets. That we had like a party, and we jumped on the trampoline and we threw the sweets around. And just this, it's enough there for everyone and for myself. And it was obviously a lot about sweets. But the things I want. Maybe it was so much in my family what my mother cooked, or what everyone ate, or the time when we were invited at my granny's house for eating. It was not like, when do you really feel that you're hungry, or what are you really craving? And I think that was missing also. And maybe it's with you also. Yeah, and it's good for me to have everything at home, and it's good sometimes that I have a lot of food in front of me just to see it. That was cool also. I experimented a little bit, but I don't need that so much anymore. And it's also good to have friends, for example. They provide you also with food and say, hey, this is for you and this is all for you, and have fun with it. And yeah, this giving attitude, more than having an eye on your diet, or more than to watch you or giving you rules. Yeah, I know it was not meant in a bad way, and they were concerned about our health, of course, but it was unconscious. Yeah? Because my dad, once, he freaked out also at my aunt's house because she had sweets always, and he said he doesn't want this, he doesn't like it. Yeah, but couldn't he have talked with her about it just calmly and explaining that, yeah, he wishes for us a better diet, a better food behavior, and then they could have make plans to buy more fruits. I think if we would have had fruits there, then of course we would have taken them also. If my aunt cut bananas and apples and everything, and they got it out to the streets where we were playing, of course we would have eaten it too. Like once mom, she made pizza for us. We were just hungry and just wanted to have anything. So maybe it was a lack of providing. Yeah. And I realized also sometimes providing, for example, they went with us to the city when it was very hot outside and we didn't have something to drink with us. And so I learned that too for myself. I always take a little bottle with me, and I take a snack with me. And even if I don't need the snack, I just look that I always have something, that I care for myself. And this was very good. Like it. So this was not the only addiction. My other two addictions were sexual addiction, or it was much about sexuality. It was much about sports. The sports addiction was got very bad when I was a young adult, because we had so many issues and problems and everything that I felt sometimes like my whole body would burn, and I just had to get rid of all those emotions, of all those driven energies, and it's not good also. But this I've lost with a therapy that I made. It's called EMDR. It's eye movement desensitization reprogressing. So they work with eye movement, or they work with two pads you get in your hands, or with sound from one ear to the other. It just stimulates the two brain sides and manage that you have completely new, that you're open for new connections in your brain, and the brain destroys the old connections and create new ones. And I've lost that immediately, and I got more into years of completely being calm and tired, slept a lot, laid a lot around. But my therapist, he said too, it's just because all those waves of the past and all those stress and everything is just like showing up. And I realized I can do that now. I'm no longer hunted. I'm no longer someone is behind me. So that was cool. And with that sexual addiction, or masturbating addiction, it was since early childhood, because I just simply felt that my root chakra was like it was too open. It didn't have healthy boundaries. And I got so tired of life somehow and so low energies that I just wanted to keep my energies up. And there Jesus came into a situation also where he confronted me, and that was very hard also. It was funny because a neighbor of mine, he was my client also, and he asked me, he said, but Mona, he said, how do I know from all those voices from beyond that it's the real Jesus voice? And I said, you will know that so immediately, because Jesus' voice is the voice you absolutely don't want to hear at that moment. And he was laughing, and I also. Yeah, so that was the thing. And yeah, just this consciousness. But you need someone who sees you. In my case, that was Jesus. Maybe with you, it's someone else. Or maybe you even have the chance for a person who sees you. I was talking about this with my ex-husband, but he recognized it, but he didn't like process it, and really that real deep thing didn't happen. So yeah, it was just not a deep thing, and I couldn't cure from that. And now I don't have that at all. Like I said, I am completely free. I know when I am full, when I had enough food. But sometimes I wish that I could have consciously felt it, like I would want to have an attack, and then I see and feel the change from this attack into normal. But of course that's not possible, because you have so many years also that go by, and suddenly you are, I just felt a little bit sad, because it was either attack or not, non-attack and not attack, and that was a little bit sad. But I'm so happy, and I'm so grateful that this stuff is over now, and that I can just be me. And also in my apartment, I said that to my ex-husband also, I am just so happy that I was always so happy if I could leave a leftover. Or if I say, for example, I have 15 grapes and 2 grapes I can't eat anymore, and I just put them in the fridge, and there they are. No one is saying, because of 2 grapes you put them in the fridge, couldn't you have eaten them? So something like this, those complaining things. And I was like, so cool, I can leave those 2 grapes in the fridge. And maybe I eat them tomorrow, or maybe I throw them away. Just to consciously watch myself and feel myself. That was so heavenly somehow. And with Jesus I went through many things, and he just always let me be who I am. Once I didn't. I hate, for example, grocery shopping, and once he just let me be like a toddler, and I was crying, and I threw things against the walls. He's just there and watching me, and just letting me know that he has my back, and I can trust him, and most of all I can be myself. And later on we both knew that I have to go shopping anyway. But then he asked me what I need. He let me be me and throwing stuff around and crying like a toddler. But then he asked me, what do you need now? Why do you hate it so much? And it was winter and it was cold, and I said I just don't want to go out into the cold. And I dressed myself. I dressed up like with my snowboard pants, and I brought something to drink with me, and I just provided myself with everything I needed. And then I went shopping, and I felt quite good. I still remember that evening very well, because I knew although all the struggle, I'm cared for. And if I cry, I cry, and if I don't cry, I don't cry. But in the end, it's happening anyway. I just can see how I can make the situation more mild, more comfortable, more comforting. Yeah. So I hope this story helped you. I wish so much that if you are in such a situation, I am sending you so much light and so much healing from the depth of my heart, that you are provided with angelic light and everything you need, and that Jesus and everyone, your deceased, your ancestors, that they're all with you, and that you know you are protected and supported, although you don't see sometimes everyone and everything, but that you just have this knowledge and carry it within your heart. And I love you even if others don't, and I see you even if others don't, and Jesus does too. And yeah, I hope that this community can help everyone, that we can talk about in the comment section below and calm us and be there for us, and come out with our vulnerable stories also, and just talking about the experiences that we've made. And now I can talk about it. In the past I couldn't, because I didn't want it someone to watch me consciously in this still addicted phase. I didn't want that I have a bad picture of me, and I also didn't want it to bring my heavy and negative and dark side into their lives. That's also a point also. But now, as I'm cured, I can talk about, and I want to talk about to help many others out there. And if you want to book a session with me, light work session or anything else, you can do that also. Or I offer counseling via email or WhatsApp. And I just wish you your life like a feather, so that the wind can carry you to the place you're meant to be, where you see that everything unfolds naturally and beautifully and positively. All my love, yours, Ailey.